Today I'm here about being a more confident drummer. The drummer is the driver, the conductor of the band. They are the linchpin of success for the band. If the drummer makes a mistake, the band can fall apart. The guitarist can miss a chord, the bassist can miss a lick, the singer can forget a few words, and it's not that big a deal, we can recover. But if the drummer drops the beat, it's really noticeable. I'd say it's more noticeable than almost any of those things, except singers. Anyway, so you have to be confident, but drumming is hard and scary, and how am I going to be confident? Well, I'm going to tell you, you need to know 5 things in order to be confident at drumming and to lead your band to success. The first one is to know your gear, okay? Your gear is important because it's what you play on. You need to know how it works. You need to know how to set it up, how to tear it down, how to take it apart, how to put it back together. You need to know the proper steps to clean it, to maintain it, change the heads, tune the heads. If you don't know how to do those things, there's plenty of videos out there. I'm probably going to make one before too long. You need to replace things when they get ratty or not working. Don't over tighten your wing nuts on your hardware. If you're playing your heads until they're cratered and lumpy, you need to change those things, because sure as heck, you're going to go to a show and you're going to put a stick right through one of those things. If your gear works, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it falling apart on the gig. Then you can just concentrate on driving the band and helping them to be confident. The second part to being a confident drummer is knowing your songs, okay? This should go without saying. If you're a musician, you need to know songs. You need to know songs. And it still surprises me how many drummers don't know the songs. Maybe they're not putting in the practice. Maybe they haven't listened to a lot of music. You need to do both. You need to practice the songs that you're playing, but also just listening to a lot of music will make you a better musician, because you'll be very, very versed in how music works, especially the music in a particular genre. Okay, a lot of American music is built on 2s, 4s, 8s, 16s, you know. So you need to know the structure of that and how it works. And that'll help you be confident, because you'll know where you are. I've actually heard drummers who are just, they're in their own head. I've got to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And it sounds like a machine. And there's no change at the verse to a chorus, or the chorus to a solo, or back to the verse, because they're in their head and they are not aware of what everybody else is doing in the song, the parts, you know, the verse and chorus, and how to use dynamics and musical tension and tone and get different feelings for verse and for chorus. And they don't even know that the verse and chorus are happening because they're not familiar with the structure of the song. I don't know how people who play like that can possibly be confident enough to drive a band. So put in the practice, diagram your songs if you have to, and just learn them. Learn them backwards and forwards. Know where the transitions are. That is the key point. And you know what? Somebody else on stage might be giving you the clue of when the transition is coming up. The guitarist always does that one figure when it's time to come out of the solo and go back into the chorus. Perfect. Glom off that. If you're just jamming and jamming and jamming, that's what you're listening for. By the way, knowing songs means having your set list Your set list is really important because so often you're the one who clicks off the next song. You have to know what that next song is. If you're asking the guitarist or the bass player or heaven forbid the singer over and over again, hey, what's the next song? That's not going to help you be a confident drummer leading the band. The next thing you need to do in order to be a confident drummer is know your tempos, okay? Like I said, we start so many songs. If you don't know your tempos, how can you count off the band, be all together, be confidently leading that band? I bet if you don't know your tempos, your count-offs look a little like this guy's. What's the tempo again? Whereas if you're confident, you know the tempo and you know where to put it, you're probably going to count off more like this guy. All right, everybody ready? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. One way to get the tempos right in front of you is put them on your set list. We already talked about set list. Right next to the name of the song, put a tempo. Pretty easy, right? Okay, so we have a tempo. How do we change that number on our set list into reality and actually click it off? The first and most obvious tool for this is a metronome. And almost everybody should have access to one if you've got one of these. The metronome I use is called Pro Metronome on Android. And I paid the $3 to get the full version because it's got a lot of neat features that can help you out on stage or at practice. One of those features is it actually has a set list where you can list off the songs and set the tempo for them. And different time signatures, everything. It's not even a problem. Another phone tool I use a lot is called Live BPM. This is a beat monitor. It doesn't give you the tempo, but once you start playing, it shows you where you are on the tempo and if you're rushing or dragging. This is great to track where you speed up and slow down and also where the band speeds up and slows down. I use this all the time. It's a fantastic tool. Okay, that's all cool and everything, but my phone battery died or I forgot my phone. Now what do I do? Well, one thing I do often if I don't have my phone to hand or I just need the tempo really quickly is, do I remember how the chorus or the hook goes, and I can hum it to myself or sing it in my head, and then I've got an approximate tempo. Bermuda Schwartz for Weird Al Yankovic says he's memorized a whole bunch of standard pop tunes and what tempo they're at so he can hum them and kind of get a tempo for the song he needs to do. For example, I have a tempo of 74. I happen to know that Hey Jude is at 74 beats per minute. With all these tricks at your disposal, you should never have a weak click off again, and that should make you a more confident drummer, right? Right? The fourth thing I'm going to suggest in order to be a confident drummer is to know your bandmates. You need to know what they're doing, the things they do, and maybe even help them with the things they're having trouble with. Not only during the songs where we need to know each other's parts because they're all part of the song, which we're supposed to know in order to be confident, right? But we also need to know what's going on with them so we can help, we can cover, we can start together and stop together, okay? Eye contact's important. Checking on each other between songs, making sure everybody's good to go. Maybe the guitarist broke a string, maybe the singer needs to take a sip of water, and maybe the bass player needs to change his brain or his pants or whatever it is that bass players do between songs, I don't know. Make the eye contact, make sure everybody's ready, count it off, let's go, okay? During the song, you need to be checking on everybody, making sure everybody's hooked in, make the eye contact. Do they know where they are? Do you know where you are? Is it all working together? Fantastic. Does your guitarist always tend to speed up in the choruses or the solos? Does your singer come in early? Okay, know those guys, help them with it, okay, or adjust for it. That'll make you more confident because it's never going to take you by surprise. You also need to be prepared to help them with those things they're having trouble with. A great case in point is this recent project I was on. We're starting out this song in 6/8, and the whole band comes in together, and we play through the intro, which is like 8 bars of 6/8, and then we stop, and there's like 4 beats of silence, and then the guitar player has to do a little rundown into the 1 of the verse, and he would miss it every time. So what happened is we'd get to the stop, and I'd start cooking the hats. I'd look at him, and when it was time for him to do his run, I'd nod him in really, really obviously, like he'd know where to come in, and he could hit that cue, and we did it perfectly live. And to the audience, it just looks like we're grooving together, and we're helping each other out, and we're getting there. But we should know where we're at all times. Well, he didn't, and so we needed the help, okay? I was confident, and I was able to help him by doing something just really, really subtle. Know where other people need help and be that person who can help them. That helps you be confident. You should also just know where the band is taking the music, right? Know your bandmates, okay? Are we softening it down here so that the bass can have a go at it? Are we just going to kind of drop out and let the vocal lead the audience in a sing-along on this next chorus? Hopefully we've rehearsed those things. Sometimes they happen spur of the moment. But are we going to build back in from the solo, you know, or is the guitar solo going overtime, buckle in, let's go? You know, just be aware of what's going on around you. Don't be in your own head down. I'm just playing 4, man. I'm playing the money beat. It's all good. Don't do that. Be aware of what everybody else is doing. Know your bandmates. You'll be confident. My 5th and final tip on how to be a confident drummer is to know the crowd, okay? A lot of my energy comes from watching the crowd and how they're reacting. Now, you may be nervous about playing drums live. I was for a while, and then it just became part of it because I saw how much fun everybody was having. When I really started smacking that beat and people started moving and dancing and clapping and cheering, and they were having fun, okay, and I was creating music for them, and it was great. Okay, get into that. Use it. If the crowd is into it, then you know you're doing the right thing. If the crowd doesn't seem into it, you need to adjust somehow. Maybe the groove is not landing. Maybe you're out of time with the band. Maybe something sounds funky. Figure it out and roll with it. Use it and adjust, okay? Use it just like another band member and help you get confident. Do things that just engage the audience. It'll make you more confident because you know you're making this moment for them. Now, you're going to make mistakes, and a lot of people lose confidence because they know they're going to make mistakes, and then they make a mistake and they're like, now what? Well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 really, the audience doesn't care. They don't care. They didn't even notice, okay? Maybe the bass player noticed, but the audience doesn't notice. Unless the singer forgets all the words or screws the words up really bad to a really famous song, or you drop the beat entirely, it's going to be very, very hard for them to know that there was a mistake. Most of them are not musicians. Plus, they did not come to see you fail. Believe me, they did not. They came to have fun and hear good music and have a great time, okay? So you might as well have fun. Create some music for them and have a good time, because that's why they're there. You ought to be there for the same reason. Be confident, have fun, create music. Trust me, nobody's going to go home and say, I can't believe he missed that one triplet fill coming out of the guitar solo. Nobody is going to, except maybe the guitarist. Hopefully these tips have given you some ideas and some food for thought about how to be confident as a drummer on stage and in the studio and anywhere you play drums. Which one did you like best? Did I miss something? Do you have another tip that you'd like to share? Drop it in the comments below. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable your notifications. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.